Dear Mr. President Barack Obama,
there are several issues that need to be addressed in your final term.
But there is one that we believe you need to address immediately.
Reuniting the country.
Not only are there several issues that are dividing the government,
these issues are also driving some people to file petitions for secession.
This has not happened since the Civil War and should not be taken lightly.
These issues range widely from healthcare,
the economy,
and gun control.
Sincerely, Tanner,
Caleb,
and Matt.
We've got to put aside our particular interest, let the special interest stay outside the door, and then try to come up with a solution. The chairs try to put forward a proposal that tries to do that. I think it misses the mark a little bit yet, but it sure gives us something to work with.
The President is going to continue to drive home a message of that we're here to work together to make good policy that benefits all citizens, not just Democrats or not just his friends or just certain parts of the country. It's working together. He has to model that bipartisanship. He has to model the willingness to work together. One of the things you always hear is people say, oh, I hate Congress. Except now my congressman, oh, he or she, they're the best. They're not part of the problem. Every member of Congress is a part of the problem in some way. They have to model good behavior. They have to be willing to act in a cooperative, collaborative, bipartisan way.
So I think there's a time and place to negotiate. It seems like the Republicans always negotiate those basic rights away, and the Democrats, I call them the new wave Democrats of say 20 years ago, have really eroded your values away.
Many people believe that partisanship is at an all-time high, but in the past, partisanship has caused many political adversaries to duel. Many of these political-fueled duels resulted in death. One of the most famous duels was the Burr-Hamilton duel. This duel occurred when the tenuous relationship between Vice President Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton reached a breaking point. In the duel, Burr killed Hamilton and he lost his political standing.
I want him to be a good senator, but that will require him to revise his stated goal of bringing more partisanship to Washington. Let me just stop there. You have said that there needs to be more partisanship in Washington. How do you square that with legislating?
Well, what I've said is I certainly think that bipartisanship ought to consist of Democrats coming to the Republican point of view. We entered this campaign wanting to be a voice and hoping to give more of a national voice to the idea that Republicans and more specifically conservatives would be in the majority of the United States Senate and the House, and hopefully that we have a Republican in the White House. If we do that, bipartisanship means they have to come our way. If we're successful in getting the numbers, then we will work toward that. You know, I want to confront not so much people as the issues that are really out there that are causing us to be in the economic crisis we're in.
I think as an American citizen, our country is founded upon basic building blocks, very strong blocks in freedom of religion, the right to own property, the right to not have king or queen or president tell you what you can do with your home. No county, no city or town should be able to take those building blocks away from you. And over the last 40 years, they have.
President Andrew Jackson was a firm believer in partisanship and the patronage system. He rearranged his cabinet several times due to political differences, and he often had duels with political adversaries. He also indiscriminately vetoed any bill that was against his point of view or that could possibly endanger his political standing.
Bipartisan means working cooperatively, working collaboratively, a willingness to act in a manner that I'm willing to give a little bit so that I can get a little bit, and that you have to be willing to give a little bit to be able to get a little bit. There's no party, no group, no person that is absolutely correct in all ways and has all the answers. And it's working together as a team, coming together to find that right answer.
What they should have done 30 years ago was on your key issues, whether you believe in pro-life, pro-choice, or whether you believe in freedom of religion, or the right to bear arms, or the right to own property without government infringement, is if you take those core values, you don't negotiate on those values. Those are basic values that every American should have, and they should not be negotiated away either for partisanship or nonpartisan reasons.
Bipartisanship has been shaky throughout the history.
In the days leading up to the Civil War, Massachusetts Senator Charles Sumner gave a 2-day speech about the crimes against Kansas.
Representative Preston Brooks of South Carolina was angered by the speech and the verbal attack on his cousin, Senator Preston Brooks.
Brooks entered the Senate chamber and attacked Sumner with his cane. He became a hero in the South and a villain in the North.
There are many other examples of fights, arguments, and duels in the history of our government.
In conclusion, Mr. President, we believe that our country is as divided as it has been in the past 100 years, and it is steadily progressing towards the partisanship arguments of the 1800s.
So the real question that is presented is, do you want our government to regress to the duels and political attacks of the 19th century?
That is why you need to find common ground for Republicans and Democrats.
That is why you need to reunite the country.